I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
Donald Trump's return to the White House as President of the United States raises one big concern for India. If you know anything about Trump, it's this. He absolutely hates illegal immigration.
We're tracking down the illegal alien criminals, we're detaining them, and we are throwing them the hell out of our country. By the time the sun sets tomorrow evening, the invasion of our borders will have come to a halt.
All illegal entry will immediately be halted.
And as it turns out, Indians are actually one of the largest groups of illegal immigrants currently residing in America. By some good estimates, over 700,000 Indians are living in America illegally, with around 18,000 set for deportation to India. Now, this is a really sensitive issue, which could potentially hurt India-U.S. relations if they're handled badly. Just this week, we've seen Trump threaten massive tariffs on countries, even allies like Mexico, if they don't do what he wants on immigration. Could this turn out to be a major problem for India? On this episode of Threadbare, we take a look at the illegal immigration from India to America and how this issue could be one of India's most sensitive diplomatic challenges with America's Trump administration. Let's just start by getting a handle on how big this problem is. According to one good estimate, there were about 725,000 undocumented Indian immigrants living in the United States. Over the last few years, the number of Indians trying to enter America illegally has actually grown a lot. So between 2020 and 2024, US authorities apprehended around 175,000 Indian nationals trying to cross borders into America illegally. Most of these immigrants come from places like Punjab, Haryana, Gujarat, and Andhra Pradesh, where migration to America has been common for years. Now, many of these illegal immigrants are just chasing better economic opportunities in America, especially since they may find it difficult to find good jobs in India. A lot of these migrants are actually from India's emerging middle class. Some overstay on student visas, others cross borders from countries like Canada and Mexico into America, and others take the infamous donkey routes, after sometimes paying agencies up to $100,000 to get to America illegally. This has become a fairly big problem. Just last year, America's Department of Homeland Security sent several hundred Indians back on deportation flights. And according to several reports, nearly 18,000 Indian nationals are at the risk of being deported soon. And now, Donald Trump has entered the picture. Stopping the flow of illegal immigration into the United States is one of the top priorities for the new Trump administration. During President Joe Biden's tenure, immigration enforcement authorities had to deal with an influx of roughly 8 million immigrants at the US border. A significant chunk of those have actually made it inside the US and are now residing in the country illegally. Donald Trump has been very, very clear on the campaign trail. He wants to stop the flow of illegal immigrants, and he wants those already in America to be deported. And he's willing to use America's massive economic power to punish countries that don't give him what he wants. Take Colombia as an example. This South American country refused to take back American military flights with deported migrants on them. Donald Trump came down hard on Colombia. He slapped tariffs on Colombian goods, suspended visa services in the country, and placed sanctions on government officials. However, now things seem to have calmed down. Colombia has agreed to take the migrants back, and America has agreed not to slap tariffs on the country. But still, it's a pretty clear message about how Donald Trump will deal with countries who don't give him what he wants on this particular issue. It's also become pretty clear that this matter is going to come up in the India-US relationship. Illegal migration was discussed in External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar's first ever meeting with the new Secretary of State, Marco Rubio. And with Prime Minister Narendra Modi set to go to America next month, you can be sure that this topic is going to come up again. India's government is already trying to get ahead of the problem. Last week, S. Jaishankar made clear that India only supports legal migration and is happy to take back illegal immigrants.
We are also very firmly opposed to illegal mobility and illegal migration. But we have been consistent, we have been very principled about it, and that remains our position, and I conveyed that very clearly to Secretary Rubio.
India is already preparing plans to take back the 18,000 Indians that are set for deportation. It will also take back more if America can help certify that these are, in fact, Indian nationals. Now, India actually has fairly good reasons to be worried about Trump's whole approach to immigration. Part of his political base are opposed to allowing more immigration from India, including that of skilled Indian immigrants through the H-1B visa. For now, Trump has backed the H-1B visa, but he did try to restrict access to it in his first term as president. Also, Trump has recently issued an order to end birthright citizenship in America. which is a long-standing policy that a person born in the United States automatically becomes a citizen of that country. Now, an American court has blocked Trump's move, but his decision to try and end birthright citizenship could adversely impact millions of Indians on temporary work visas in the United States who simply want to set up their lives there. Despite all of these concerns, so far it does seem like the Indian government has been handling the issue fairly well with the incoming Trump administration. Here's what Indian-American political scientist Milan Vaishnav had to say.
That India has played its hand very well, would be my assessment. I mean, just think about the facts. You have Minister Jaishankar seated in the second or third row at a rather intimate inauguration. That was followed the very next day by this meeting of the Quad foreign ministers, which of course include Minister Jaishankar, Marco Rubio's very first meeting, then his very first bilateral meeting with Mr. Jaishankar. You had these behind-the-scenes talks about repatriation of illegal migrants in the United States of Indian origin. Since November 5th until January 20th, the government of India has done a lot of hard thinking about how it might want to position itself. And I think it's realized that giving the president a few early wins to put on the board is going to serve it in very good standing for the medium to long term.
But while India has managed to handle the challenge of illegal immigration well for now, it also needs a long-term fix. As I said before, roughly 175,000 Indians have tried to cross illegally into America over just the last 4 years. There is a massive push in parts of India to chase better economic opportunities in the United States, even if it has to be done illegally. Without an improvement in the economic situation here in India and a genuine effort to combat illegal migration by the government, it's very likely that tens of thousands of Indians will continue to illegally migrate into America. And that could become a serious point of tension between India and the Trump administration. The stakes are high with everything from trade, defense, and China strategy between India and America on the line. India will have to move extremely carefully. Thank you for watching Threadbare with me, Shashank Bhattu. I'll catch you again next week, only on India Today Global.